Good day, Africa. Welcome to African Students Voices. And today we have a special conversation. Today we want to delve into African lecturers who have benefited from the Canadian International Development and Scholarship. They didn't just go to Canada to study. Of course, they went there with a purpose to gain knowledge, skills, and also transform our African higher education. My name is Jemima Daladem Duche. So I have with me amazing guests, but before I introduce them, we'll go for a quick break. And when we come back, I'll introduce my guest and have a conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. And if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV. And AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. You can follow the conversation on our social media handles, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. And today, of course, we are talking about scholarships for change and how African lecturers are equipping themselves to transform institutions. And as I said, I have with me an amazing and lovely guest whom I would introduce. So I have here Mrs. Henrietta Ejay Pokuya. You're welcome. Okay, and I also have a gentleman here with me, Reverend Engineer Dr. Frimpong Treme. I got it right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you're both welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so before we delve into the conversation, I would want you to briefly introduce yourself. I'll start from the lady.
Okay, so thank you. Henrietta Ejay Pokuya, don't call Mrs.
Okay.
Normally, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm a computer science lecturer at Sunyani Technical University. I've been there for some years now. Yeah, and the courses that I teach computer hardware, I teach computer ethics. I also teach management information systems, management of organizations and information systems, critical thinking. Yeah, so these are the courses that I teach there.
Okay, that's great. How about you, Reverend?
Yeah, so I'm Frimpong Treme, and I'm also an electrical engineering lecturer at Sunyani Technical University, and I lecture in power electronics, applied electricity, power system courses, and then safety engineering, and so many other courses.
So both of you have been beneficiaries of the Canadian International Development Scholarship. And of course, I learned you guys went to Canada, but I want to know what for. So I'll start from you.
Yeah, so we went to Canada to be trained in electric vehicles. Our university is setting up a center of excellence for electric vehicles. So we had opportunity with BCDI to learn more about electric vehicles. So that's why we went to Canada.
Okay, but how did your institution win the scholarship to, take some of its lecturers to study? I'll come to you.
Okay, so what happened was our VC went for a conference, that's a different conference altogether, where he met some other stakeholders there and something cropped up. This scholarship cropped up and he was interested. So he did a follow-up on it and the institution had to apply. And before you can win such scholarships, you have to affiliate to one institution in Canada. So they worked on it and it was Fanshawe College that was ready to partner with our institution. Gradually, most institutions applied, but it was our university that won that scholarship. That's how we got it.
So how did your institution win the scholarship? How was the process in applying and then talk less of winning for their lecturers to go out?
Okay, so from the few I can talk about, I know so many things went into it, but I would say we really put things in place, and as compared to other institutions that applied, definitely we won that scholarship. Yeah, but we cannot go much into detail. That's all the things that went through this process.
Okay. Mr. Reverend, what do you want to add?
Yeah, so we started with a funding proposal.
Okay.
Okay, so the Dean of Engineering and then some other staff members put in the fund proposal for the funding to be CDI, and then also I think it went through some competition and then some selection process. Then eventually we won and we were selected to enjoy that scholarship.
Okay, so now you spoke about the electric vehicles. That is what you went to study in Canada. So how was your stay there in Canada?
Yeah, in Canada, actually, we spent only 2 weeks. Before we went, we had some online lessons before we went to. That took about 3 months to go through. So we were actually introduced to the what we were going to do there. So we had a theoretical knowledge there. Most of the things that we went to do in Canada was the practical part, where we went to a school called the Fanshawe College in London, Ontario. And they have a very good, let me say, transport department. They call it transport department, but it's an automotive engineering department where they deal with a lot of cars, internal combustion engine cars. And they are also electric vehicles, and they have brands of cars from different companies, and that's what they used to teach their students. So we also went there to learn of these things so that we can have the hands-on and then the theoretical knowledge to come and implement in our university.
Okay, so you've been there for 2 years, as you've said.
2 weeks.
Sorry, 2 weeks. Sorry, that was so far. So you've been there for 2 weeks. How was your day-to-day functions like? Because as Reverend said, you were there for practicals, but then you did more of the theory here before traveling. So how was your day-to-day steps or plan like?
Okay, so before we got there, they gave us the plan for the 2 weeks.
Okay.
Though it was very intensive because the duration was very short. So what happened was, like on the normal day when we wake up, we would have to pick a bus. We walk from our hotel, pick a bus, go to our affiliate institution, which is the Fanshawe College. Then we begin the day from there. There are some sessions that we do on campus, that's the Fanshawe campus. Then there are other sessions whereby we go outside the industry. Because I remember there was a day we visited one Kami plant. They are in charge of this GMC cars, etc., which is a very big company. We had to go. They manufacture electric vehicles. That's the vehicles for delivery services like FedEx, EMS, etc. Yeah, we went there to see how they go about doing their things. We also visited some senior high schools who are into this electric vehicles, and we went to other places. The Fanshawe also have their own labs and workshops, etc., where we normally go, and they take us through all the things that we are supposed to learn.
So now let's go a bit into details. Okay. We want to know what exactly you went to study. I know it's about electric vehicles, but then we want to know the course. I'm sure the course has a name, and then what the course seeks to achieve, and then what at the end of the course, I mean, what you, the individual studying the course, you would achieve at the end of studying that.
Okay, so the course is Fundamentals of EVs.
Okay.
Yeah. Though we might go into detail, but our objective was to learn the fundamentals, and that's what we started in Ghana before we went to Canada. So they wanted us to know, when we talk about electric vehicles, how it is, what encompasses the electric vehicle, talking about the batteries, the charging stations, charging systems, control systems, etc. So they took us through all these things for us to really understand what we are doing. Because we just talk about electric vehicles. We are all familiar with the internal combustion engine cars, which they are the ones that we use in Ghana here. And this technology is emerging. We don't have much idea about it. Yeah. So they took us through what it is, what the components are, the difference between the EVs and the ICE. And you know, at the end of the day, because our school is a technical university, we are also going to train some people, and those that we are going to train most of them are adults. We have the masters, we have the apprentices. So they took us through how we are going to train adults. Because we've been training students, but the target group might be older than the normal students. So we need to have ideas about how we go about all those things. So they took us through all these things.
Reverend, do you really want to?
Yeah, so as she said, we started here with the TOT, where we were giving the training about how to train adult students. And then even not just adult students, those who don't have much literacy education, because you know those who work in the magazines and then they don't have much, and they are also part of the target, because they already have the skills to work on internal combustion engines. So if they have the skill to work on internal combustion engines, then it will be a bit easier for us to train them in the electric vehicles. So we need to help upgrade their knowledge to the level where if anyone brings electric vehicle to them, they can work on it. So they were part of the time. So we started with training of how to train the adult learners, and then the different way people learn and all those things. Then we also had the fundamentals of the electric vehicles, where you have to know what the components are, what each component represents, the gear trains, the battery systems, the charging systems, and all those things. So we went into details of all these things. Then when we went to Canada, we actually went to see how these things are done. So at the chemical plant, where the GMC manufacturing plant, we were taking from the beginning of putting the parts together from scratch to the end of the production, where the car has come out and it can be driven. So we went through all the processes, how each component is put together and how each component functions and all those things.
I'm glad you had a very nice experience. I'm sure you enjoyed it. So we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and of course we've been delving into a very interesting conversation about how lecturers go to Canada to, of course, have hands-on training and skills, come back to their home country and develop the African higher education. Welcome back from the break. I mean, before the break, we were talking about your whole experience there in Canada for the 2 weeks. But before then, why electric vehicles for your institution? I mean, I'm sure we have other courses that you could have. So how did the electric vehicle studies come to your institution for them to win such a scholarship to undertake the study?
Okay. So the electric vehicle came about as an initiative by the VC. Our university has a niche area, and the niche area is electrical engineering. So the VC also thought it wise that as the world is going green, we can also take advantage of it and then also contribute our quota to it. So he put in the proposal, and then we won the funding for setting up a center of excellence for electric vehicle. So that now that they are coming in, we will need technicians to do maintenance and repairs, and then we also need to do research in that area so that we can contribute to that in Ghana. So that is our aim, that we become the premier university in electric vehicle technology in Ghana right? So that is how it started. So we had an opportunity to get the funding from Ghana Gas for the building of the center, and the center has been built. And then after the building of the center, there's the need for us to train the human resource to man the center. So that is how come we had that opportunity.
I'm sure during your stay in Canada, there were some new skills and technologies you may have experienced or have gotten into contact with. How do you want to transfer those skills and knowledge you have gotten here into your home country?
Okay, so as I said earlier, when we talk about electric vehicles, we look at those that we want to train in this, because it's an emerging area. In Ghana here, we are not that familiar with electric vehicles. So what we want to do is, we had to set the foundation to know what to impact to those who we will be taking through this training. And as I said earlier, we are looking at the mechanics and maybe any others who are interested. So what we learned there is, as we said earlier, how we are supposed to train those mechanics for them to also know, they are already aware of the ICE vehicles, but the electric vehicle is a new area for them. So what are they supposed to do? What training are they supposed to go through and all that? When you ask about what skills that we learned there, Ghana is a developing country, and for Canada, they are developed. So we cannot compare the two countries. Most of the things that they do there, for instance, when we went to the Kami plant, the assembling was being done by robots. Which we will get there, but not now. So, human beings are going to do it. And how are we going to go about it? So that's the training that we went through, which we are coming to impact on these mechanics who will be enrolling on this program. So I think we will be starting with certificate programs and maybe go to diploma. Then in the near future, we don't know what might happen. We can go to the extent of maybe running undergraduate courses and maybe masters, etc. But for now, our concentration will be on the certificate programs and diploma, which is in the pipeline.
Reverend, would you want to add?
So the new skills that we learned, as she said, we learned about the electric vehicle assembling and all those things. Knowing the parts, so you know how to repair them. So we want to start a program in that. And as she said, we are in the pipeline. We are putting up a strategic plan, which have been phased into short-term, long-term, and medium-term and long-term. So that we can put our center running. So those on the committee for the strategic plan are those who went to most of us are from the scholarship who went to Canada. So we are putting up the strategies and then preparing the document for us to start running. And then also part of it is going to be the curriculum that we are developing. So with the knowledge, we are developing a new curriculum for, we are targeting to the master's level in electric vehicle, but we are starting gradual from certificate and diploma, and then we will be building on it till we are able to get to the level. Aside that, we also enter into research. Some of us have already started research in electric vehicles and even converting. Ghana, we have a lot of used motor. When the engine gets spoiled, then it's thrown away. So we are looking at how to convert internal combustion engine motor, the motor bicycle that are on the street, spoiled one. We had to convert it into electric motors. And as of now, we have even done one, which is running well. So these are some of the things so we keep on building on and building on. So we are into research, we are into assembly, repairs, we are looking at training the manpower. And then for some time to come, if possible, we start assembling.
Okay. So since you came back from Canada, how long has it been?
We came in February.
Okay.
So let's say about 3 or 4 months now.
4
months now.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure, as you said, you've got a lot of plans. I see you've got a lot of plans that you want to come and incorporate into the education sector, and then there is a whole plan to that. So since you came within these 3 months, what has been going on?
Yes. So as I said, we are in the process of putting up the strategic plan. In fact, it's almost done. It starts with some fine tuning that you have to do. Then after that, in an academic institution, before you do anything, it should be approved. Yes. So this one is at the faculty level. So when the faculty accepts it, then you go to academic board. Then after that, it goes to the council. Then you start implementing it. But aside that, as I said, some of us are into the research of this thing. So the research is ongoing, where we are studying more about e-vehicles. We are thinking of, after the 2-wheeler, that is the motorbike, we are thinking of going to 3-wheeler that you can start, you start working on. And then also we go into 4-wheeler, we do a campus shuttle of e-vehicle where we will use it, within our campus to try and see. Yes. Then aside that, the development of the curriculum is also ongoing. So we have to develop the curriculum, and then we start recruiting students for the project. Okay.
So, this is a very good plan that you have going, but are there any support that you are getting maybe from government or the institution, or any outside support you're getting for these plans you have in place?
For support, as I mentioned earlier, we had the opportunity, we had the sponsorship from Ghana Gas to build this thing. But aside that, then the BCDI came in for the training of the human resource. Aside these ones, we don't have any. So other things that we are doing is internally generated fund. So from the university's own fund that we are using to do all these things, and we will really need support. And we are also putting in proposals to get connected to or form partnership with companies and institutions to get support from them too.
But how do you intend to get the government on board? Because this is a very good initiative, seeing that it's going to bring some practicality into a field of study. What's the plan bringing government on board?
Yeah, so the government coming on board, we are even discussing with the Canada International Corporation, and then they mentioned that they have a program with the CTVET, and what they are trying to do is to help some technical investors in specific areas, so we can come in with a proposal, and then possibly they can look at how ours can fit in so that they can support us. Aside that, as we say, we are still brainstorming and developing strategies. So we're looking at maybe discussing with the academic body, if possible, for us to seek some fundings from government agencies to help us go on.
Okay, so let me come to you, Mrs. Henrietta. So what's the biggest, lesson or mindset shift you've gained from this international experience?
Okay, so apart from these practical aspects that we've talked much about, initially before we went to Canada, we were having sessions here already online, whereby, I told you we are being trained to come and train others. And it was the normal lecturing that we were doing previously. So they taught us so many things that we can incorporate in our lecturing, looking at individual learning styles. You can understand in our country here. Normally, when we are teaching students, we do the wholesale.
Yeah.
Like we just go about teaching, but we don't specifically look at individuals' learning style. So those things were they took us through all those things. So after even coming back from Canada, and we've not really started any major projects or fiscal projects, those ones are incorporated in our lecturing.
Okay.
And it's really helping. The students have even seen the impact of it. And I would say that this scholarship has had a great impact on the institution. Yeah, because the students are what I would say the manpower of the every institution. And if everything is going on, or most things are going on well, if we put them in the center of our lecturing, then it means things will go as expected. So for now, I would say it has really helped. It has had an impact on us as individuals, the way we were going about doing our things, and also how we impact things on our students also. Yeah.
Okay. How has the impact been?
Yeah, it's been great. But when we went to the college, Financial College, one of the things that I was particular about is their setups.
Okay.
How they have set up their labs, their workshops, and all those things. And there are a lot of things that we learned from there. And as Hetty was saying, at that place too, most of the things are student-centered. So they put the students at the center of the learning, so that the students will have the opportunity to learn more on their own, and then also be able to, be the focus of the learning. So that was something that I also learned from there, that I will have to put my student at the center of the learning. Even though here, implementing it is a bit difficult. The students may want you to spoon feed them. But with the strategies that we learned, now I try to implement them in my classroom, and you try to see that the students are responding. And then they will mention that when you bring in something, they say, hey, we did a Canada style. This is a style from Canada, because I didn't used to teach them that way. And they're also interested in those things, and it keeps them motivated, and then they come forth. Because nowadays, the students we have, if you leave them, they will be sitting down, then letting you to spoon feed and just tell them, and then they will chew pour, and then later. But now we want them to have the skills, so that whatever you get in there, you really understand what you are doing, and then you can implement it even when you are left alone. Okay, so these are some of the things that we picked from the scholarship, and then we are implementing to help our students as well.
Okay. So how many of you went to Canada? How many were you in total?
In total, we were supposed to be 20.
Okay.
But unfortunately, some people, 4 didn't get their visas, so 16 of us went.
All from the same institution?
Yes, from the same institution.
Okay. So how was the selection like? Is it based on what you teach? Or so how was the selection?
So what they did was that they posted it.
Okay.
Yeah. And they said anybody can apply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people applied, and now they made it specifically that they want more females than the males. So whatever number they are going to get at the end of the day, they are taking 11 females and 9 males, making it 20. So people applied from different faculties, and now they had to screen the application and invite those who were shortlisted for interview. And the interview process wasn't just internal interview. Those in Canada also took part of the interview process via Zoom. So they give you some time, like about 15 minutes, for you to do a presentation for them to see if you are ready for this whole process. And at the end of the day, they shortlisted the 20 in all, which had 11 females from different departments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though some of us came from the same department, but others were also from different departments.
Oh, okay. So how long is this scholarship going to be?
It's supposed to end in 2030.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to end in 2030.
So you're going to be on it till 2030?
Yes.
Oh, that's.
Well, not necessarily going back to Canada,
No.
but
Okay.
like they have invited us here. At times they maybe have to do some further training online or something.
Okay.
So that is going to be. So you're going to be linked to them till 2030.
Okay. Okay. So this is like an institutional course. So how would you how do you think African universities or African institutions can position themselves for such scholarships? How do you think other institutions could equally benefit from this?
I think that first of all, I would say that because our university is a technical university, and our concentration is on hands-on. Maybe that was part of how come we were able to get the scholarship, and so much also went into it. I think anybody or any institution or university can qualify. So if there is any opportunity like this, you apply or you seek maybe you see somebody, an expert, the advice from an expert to maybe take you through the processes, then you go through. I don't think when it comes to the whites, there's not much of bias when it comes to selections of such scholarships. So if only you apply, I think you can go through it successfully.
So such scholarships, there are two kinds. You have some where you have to write a funding proposal and submit it unsolicited to the institution that you think can support you. So the universities can write, I know they have been doing it, so they write funding proposals in an area that they are interested in. Then normally these scholarships too, they look at the United Nations Sustainable Goals. So if you're able to have an area and you link it to the SDGs, then you stand a chance of winning. So if you have anything, you put in the funding proposal, and then some also will put in call for applications. So you have to look for some of these calls, and then when you see it, then you put in the application in order to be able to win some. But in all, you have to write a proposal, a catching proposal that will convince the sponsors that this thing that we're going to sponsor is we're going to have the value for what you are putting in, value for money.
Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to tell our lovely viewers, give your last words to our lovely viewers.
Okay, so what I would say is that we would like to thank the BCDI team because this experience has been an impactful one. And as we said when we went for the interview, we were ready to implement whatever we learn in Canada in our institution for even other institutions and Ghana as a whole to benefit. And we stick to that promise, and we are going to go by it.
Okay. Reverend, please, your last word.
So what I would say is that it's a very nice opportunity for us, and one thing that we realize is that some people, when they get such an opportunity, they squander it. They do things that will spoil the name or destroy the name of the institution. So one, if you get such an opportunity, you put in your best, and then you make sure that you give it a good name, so that the 16 of us who went, we all came back. Some people would think that even though some of us were given even 8 years visa to stay, we could have stayed, but we knew that you're supposed to come and bring back whatever you have learned to help our nation. So when you get such opportunity, you come back and then make good use of it for the nation. And then also, you also have to be looking for such opportunity for others, for the development of our nation. And this green technology has come to stay. So Sunyani Technical University, we are into, make inroads in that area. We want to become the premier university for electric vehicles in Ghana here. So we are there, and anyone who wants to come to join us, who want to come and collaborate with us. Our doors are open for them to come and collaborate with us so that we all put in the research, the training and everything in order to develop electric vehicles in Ghana here.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming. Okay, so this has been an interesting conversation here on African Students' Voices. And of course, it's inspiring to see how global learning is feeding directly into African higher education development. My name is Chimai Madela Demduchi. See you same time next time. Bye.